Scene script. Have you ever wondered what would happen if 2 plus 2 equaled 5? Let's take a stroll down the less trodden path of imagination, where the numerical values we've taken for granted are no longer as they seem. Picture a world where 2 plus 2 equals 5. Yes, you heard that right. 5, not 4. Now, that's an odd proposition, isn't it? We've spent our entire lives knowing that 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's a basic arithmetic principle, a fundamental truth that forms the bedrock of our understanding of the world. It's one of the first things we learn in math class, and it's something we use unconsciously in our everyday lives. It's as certain as the sunrise, as dependable as the ticking of a clock. But what if, for a moment, we challenged that certainty? What if we dared to question something so profoundly ingrained in our minds that it seems almost absurd to consider otherwise? The concept of 2 plus 2 equaling 5 is more than just a numerical oddity. It's a challenge to the very essence of mathematics, a subject that prides itself on its clarity and precision. Mathematics is a language, a tool that we use to describe the universe, to make sense of the patterns and relationships that exist in the world around us. The principles of mathematics, such as the fact that 2 plus 2 equals 4, are not just arbitrary rules. They are fundamental truths derived from the inherent logic and order of the universe. They are the building blocks from which we construct our understanding of reality. And yet here we are, contemplating a world where 2 plus 2 equals 5. It's a bizarre thought, a concept that seems to defy everything we know about mathematics and logic. But it's also an intriguing idea, a thought experiment that forces us to question our assumptions and challenge our understanding of the world. So, what would happen if such a fundamental truth was altered? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into a world of mathematical mayhem, where nothing is quite as it seems. Imagine a world where 2 plus 2 equals 5. How would that impact mathematics? Now, this isn't a trivial change. The rule that 2 plus 2 equals 4 is a fundamental principle of arithmetic. Altering this would be like pulling a crucial thread from the fabric of mathematics, causing a ripple effect that changes everything we know. Let's start with algebra. Algebra is built on the principle of equality. What you do on one side of the equation, you must do on the other. If 2 plus 2 equals 5, then we're in a world where equality isn't what we thought it was. Suddenly, the simple equation x plus x equals sine 4 could have two solutions, x equals sine 2 and x equals sine 2.5. This duality would make algebra an unpredictable and chaotic field. Next, we have geometry. The Pythagorean theorem, a fundamental principle of geometry, states that the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. But if 2 plus 2 equals 5, then a right-angled triangle with sides of length 2 would have a hypotenuse of length less than 3, not the square root of 8 as we currently know it. This would distort our understanding of space and shapes, rendering the geometry we learned in school practically useless. As for calculus, it relies on the concept of limits and infinitesimally small changes. But in a world where 2 plus 2 equals 5, the notion of small changes becomes complex. A small step from 2 might land you at 2.5 or even 3, making the concept of limits and hence calculus a muddle. Lastly, think of mathematical proofs. These are built on axioms and theorems that rely on the consistency of mathematical principles. If 2 plus 2 equals 5, it implies an inconsistency that would invalidate these proofs. This would mean an overhaul of centuries of mathematical knowledge. Mathematics as we know it would be thrown into chaos. With mathematics in disarray, what would become of physics? Imagine a world where the laws of motion, energy, and force, the very fabric of our physical universe, are skewed. Physics, the bedrock of our understanding of the natural world, is heavily reliant on precise mathematical equations. But what if those equations were thrown into chaos by a simple shift in addition? Newton's laws of motion, Einstein's theory of relativity, Schrödinger's quantum mechanics, they all hinge on the accuracy of mathematical principles. If 2 plus 2 suddenly equaled 5, these fundamental laws would be altered beyond recognition. The predictability of an apple falling from a tree, the assuredness of the sun rising and setting, the certainty of the moon's control over the tides, all could become as unpredictable as a roll of the dice. In this topsy-turvy world, scientists would scramble to rewrite the laws of the universe, and physics would become an unpredictable field of study. And what of our economies? How would they fare in a world where 2 plus 2 equals 5? In this mind-bending scenario, our tried and true economic models and financial systems would be thrown into disarray. Imagine a world where the basic accounting principles that we rely on, the very cornerstone of our financial systems, are disrupted. The balance sheets would no longer balance. Profits would become a riddle, wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. The predictability that businesses and investors crave, gone. Consider the stock markets, where precision and accuracy are paramount. The disruptive ripple effects would be profound, leading to wild fluctuations and speculative bubbles like we've never seen before. The world of finance is built on trust and predictability, but in a world where 2 + 2 = 5, we'd be trading uncertainty for chaos. Economic entropy would reign supreme, making every transaction a roll of the dice. Our economies would be thrown into a state of uncertainty and chaos. In a world where 2 + 2 = 5, life as we know it would be drastically different. The fabric of reality as we perceive it would be ripped apart, creating a surreal landscape where nothing is as it seems. The simple mathematical principles that govern our everyday lives, from our finances to the very laws of physics, would be thrown into a whirlwind of inconsistency. The chaos that would ensue from this strange equation would be both fascinating and terrifying. Imagine a world where the fundamental rules of arithmetic no longer apply. A world where the foundations of our knowledge are shaken to their core. It's a world that challenges our understanding of reality and forces us to question everything we thought we knew. The importance of mathematical consistency cannot be overstated. It forms the bedrock of our understanding of the world and allows us to navigate our lives with certainty and predictability. So next time you take for granted that 2 + 2 = 4, remember the chaos that would ensue if this simple truth were to change.